Okay, so we're gonna try and pick up where we left off. You guys gotta like put comments and like give me some feedback here and let me know like your hair looks like a mess, or in the first video it looked a mess and this looks better, or you're moving too much or you're not moving enough, or you know, whatever. Like give me some feedback because I'm gonna start making like professional videos soon with actual slides and yeah. So getting back to the actual message of content here. The very first day that I made my own prompt to start writing, the first to focus on today, what am I going to do for my future self, was something I call Find My Heart Song. And where this came from for me was I'd heard about the vagus nerve and how it helps reach a homeostasis of calm instead of always being up in like fight, flight, or freeze, like constantly stressed out and overwhelmed, which is definitely one of the courses in my class. Recognizing when you are so stressed out that your body is literally stuck in fight, flight, or freeze, and like your wise mind, decision making brain literally is not operating on like, it's like you're in a different mindset completely, where decisions, that's just not the way you would normally process them and probably not coming from a healthy place because you're in survival mode, right? And so you're not in like a decision processing mode. You're gonna be like, oh, fine, this, that, you know, like have you ever seen someone like snapping like all the time? They're stuck. Okay, so that's in one of the courses, which we're going to get into. So this prompt was my heart song because I heard that when you balance your vagus nerve, you can get to a calm homeostasis. And I was trying to practice this because I very much relate to the first person, as you can tell by how fast I can start talking and relating to a high stress lifestyle. So my heart song, my rhythm. And it was a little bit sad because I was driving into work that morning and I had like a melancholy melody humming through my head, and I decided to kind of like go out loud. Like, have you ever heard the Disney princesses call out with like, ah, 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 or like the Little Mermaid, you know, when she's like, or even A Whole New World, like a whole new world. So I was like letting out my heart song with no real words, just ahs, just whatever I was feeling in the moment. And I was operating on the idea that it was kind of like I was singing to my son, who I lost in December. He didn't even get to take his first breath, but he was still made up of the body, mind, and soul connection, which is spirit, which we talk about in the class, how everything has energy. And we know energy cannot be destroyed, right? From physics. My cat wants to join the video. Come on up, Mama. So this song that I'm singing, I wanted my energy to reach him, and I was wondering if I could, connect with him through this energy, my energy and his energy. Could I increase my vibrational frequency to the attraction factor to set my radio frequency signal sending out a message so that he could receive on the other end of it, love, even though it was a sad song with melancholy feelings, which typically is a low vibration. They say it was so strong, such a strong emotion, which they say is a high magnetic attraction factor, right? So I was just kind of like trying to process all of this in my own way. And I don't know, I don't know if you're sad, if your energy is as strong, if you're coming from a place of immense sadness, is it stronger? Are you manifesting those things in your life? Those are some questions that we get into in the course. But at this point, I didn't know. So I'm just singing. And so later I realized that I'm going to have to love myself in this moment and incorporate this lesson. So I'm reading. I should have prepared better. So when I'm learning something, like a lesson or this particular memory that I want to commit to memory, as it's happening, I want to make it a memory that I can pull up again. I make an image out of it. So I like Google violin sheet music for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, right? Because I used to play the violin, and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is a very melancholy lullaby, like, you know, with the notes. And so I wanted to set my mentality that day on concentration, my signal that I'm putting out there to be love. So I printed the sheet music for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I put the word algorithm on there, made a little, you know, sketch and put it on my desktop background wallpaper, all those things, so that I could, you know, throughout the day just remind myself, like, okay, I'm focusing on emitting this song, this message, this is where I'm at today. And then we get to question 2. And question 2 is being sat on by my cat right now. So I think it says, what do you want to do tomorrow or soon? So now I'm feeling like Winnie the Pooh, you know, think. What do I want to do tomorrow? Like, I'm still trying to remember how to stay on track today with one thing. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how to make new habits every day and how to do all the things that I'm learning, and haven't gotten to rituals yet, and living every day from this place that everyone keeps talking about, where their manifestations happen and they're in their future selves and they have all of these things in the material realm. And it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming at a time that I was trying to self-regulate and find a new homeostasis that is not overwhelming, which is really hard to do. So I was listening to a podcast at the time. I actually want to throw this out there. If you have kids on, it's probably not the best podcast to play in front of them because she does swear, but it's not vulgar swearing. It's like she's really making a point. And her podcast is The Manifestation Babe, and she also has like freebies and stuff that she does. And so I think it was on her podcast that I heard projection is perception. So now my new visualization is like literally a projector, like a movie projector, and I am the director now. I'm sitting in the director's seat, and I get to change the film of the projector to say what movie is going to play on the projection screen, right? I wish my cat wasn't sitting on this right now because I drew it out for you, and when I have slides, it's going to be like so much better. There we go. There's my little director chair, there's my projection, and there's my screen, right? So this is how I like get messages when I hear them from other people. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, all she had to say was like 3 words or 4 words, right? Perspective is projection. And then I'm going with this whole, like, I'm writing screens out on what I want my movie to be. I'm like, okay, now go live it. Like, now be the director. So I had gotten to the visualization part before, but I never actually got to be the director. Like, okay, now go do it. So that was another thing. I felt like I was on the right track, having just made this form today, this like 2-question form thing. And then it felt like the go do it part was like, it was really sinking it in. So that felt like it was kind of in alignment with like, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm looking for signs. That's definitely around alignment. Here's my twinkle, twinkle. You know, I 3-hole punch them, I put them in here. I get images from the internet, and I'm like, okay, mind, body, soul. And then we have like the next day. It's like a signal, right? Like an antenna mirroring your signal going out as a song into the solar system. It's like a mirror. You've got your shadow self on both sides. You've got your inner child on both sides, right? Like all this stuff that I'm learning, I make these tiny little pictures. And I keep thinking, like, I have to get this out there. I have to get this out there. Like, what can I do to get this out there? And I'm literally trying everything. And finally, I just took the dive and decided I'm never going to stop. I'm an author. I'm a published author. I'm writing another book. And this journey is so intense for me that I made a course so other people can do it with a lot less frustration, hopefully, which is what I'm hoping that you might. I gotta get better at my sales pitch, which is what I'm hoping that you might click on. So I definitely have to work on that sales pitch. But like I said, these are practice videos leading up to the launch of my website, which is going to have that course. And it's also gonna have a 3-month program where we can talk. So it's like 1 lesson a week and 1 conference call a week with me, and then 1 community group a week. So you can have a one-on-one where just your questions are answered, and then you can also do like a classroom where we all just talk about the lessons. And some people might join on lesson 1, and then a couple weeks later we'll have someone come in and you're on lesson 3 and they're starting on lesson 1. And it's gonna be so amazing to hear what they have to say when they get to lesson 1 for you, be like, oh my gosh, I was just there 2 weeks ago, and yes, I passed that. That's going to bring you into a place of like gratitude that they were talking about, and realizing things that you have to be thankful for. So you can see the patterns emerging of the ways that it is working, instead of continuously looking for it to work in the future, right? So that's one thing that adds it. And then the other thing is, being in week 3 when someone starts in week 1, you can tell them how you got through week 1 and support them. So it's kind of like that whole pay it forward thing, right? So that's my idea on the community. If you want to do the 3-month one, that's going to be an option as well. And then after 3 months, the next idea for the website is to have a subscription for people who want to stay on in the community and keep talking for more than 3 months, and just go to, like, I don't know, what are subscriptions these days, like $9.99 a month, and just stay in the chat and stay in the group and keep talking about the things that we're going through. You may have something different that you've come across, like, you know, some people want to know more about crystal energy, some people want to know more about sound energy. Some people have questions about chakras and auras. Those are things we kind of talk about in the class, like they're mentioned, but I don't really get into them in my coursework because I haven't studied them enough. But I do reference them when I talk about the energy and the frequencies and waves and all of that, you know, and the patterns that they make and how far away they are, and actually draw pictures of sound waves again with my horrible sketches. And let's see if I flip through here if I have one for you right now. Like I said, I'm gonna have these like planned out way better, but I don't think I have my sound wave here. Oh, the duck from the last video. This is the last sketch I'll show you, and I'll close on this. So I was looking into Reiki, which is another one of those things that's, you know, raise your vibration, clear your energy. Like, they have self Reiki, so I'm doing research on that. Let's find out. Let's bring that to the group. Let's talk about it. Let's see what works for you, what works for others. And you know, I love quantum physics and quantum mechanics and the quantum enigma. So I came up with Quake Quacky. It's the quantum Reiki duck. Isn't he so cute? Oh my goodness. Dive deeper into quantum Reiki. Like, that was so funny. And then I'm also studying, you know, Buddhism and things like that as I go. So this is the 3 points that they talk about that the chakras are on. So you've got like what, the 9 chakras or 6 chakras, and you got the 3 points, and you got the 7 circles of the aura around it, and I put it inside a shield because, you know, it made sense to me to do that. So yes, that's where I'm going with this, and I want to bring you along with me so you can see how it's not a snap your fingers process, but it is a process that's easier walked through with somebody. More than one person is typically better, but one person is fine too. Like, I struggled with just having one person thinking all of this stuff in my head, trying to figure out all on my own if this is really like real, or am I imagining it? Because when you start separating your mind, your body, and your soul, or your spirit, and then you try to look at them all individually, you almost start to question, like, what is you? What is real? What is reality? Perception is projection. So what is your reality versus an ultimate universal reality that you're supposed to be able to connect to, right? It's all of these concepts that are just really, you know, they're hard to talk about, like, just within your own self. So that's what we do in the course. So you can watch the videos on your own and take notes. And see what else you want to learn from there, or you can join the community and yeah, be a part of the conversation.